right, once again, welcome. My name is Emunah Y'srael, and today we have a special guest in the house. It's Brother Ashira, a.k.a. Freedom. How are you this evening?
I am wonderful. All is well, sister. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Shalom, Queen. I'm beautiful.
We're glad that, you're a busy man. It's hard to, we see you here, we see you there. Can you just catch us up? We know I spoke to you last year, and we had an interview, and I did a written piece, and we wanted to catch up with you and find out what's going on with Zion. What's going
beautiful.
on with you?
Well, what's going on is a lot. Doing a lot of moving. But when I'm going to start, the most important thing is when I'm a representative of Zion. I'm one out of many brothers to come. And what I mean by that is that you have men who are going to return to Zion. According to the prophecy, there will be 144,000 men that will return to Zion before the Hamashiach returns, before he returns. And brothers still caught up in Christianity with this Christianity doctrine and coming from Paul, teachings, and it's like, I always say it's like it's like a ketchup jar. You got a little bit of ketchup in the bottom, at the bottom of it, and they just you got to turn that bottle over and hit it and tap it on this bottom there just to get the remaining ketchup out of it. Well, it's the same thing. You got to turn it over to get some brothers get that remaining Christian out of them. So a lot of people are still, no matter what they're calling it, they may not call it the rapture, but if they're waiting on spaceships to come, it's the rapture. It's the rapture. Sorry, kids just came in from school. Okay. No matter what you call it, it's the rapture. It's the rapture. And
wow, that's interesting. I'm glad it's okay. The children in the background, because we are real people. So you've been going back and forth, and how has that visit? How has the visits gone? Tell us a little bit more about the progression since the last time, as it relates to more people seeing what you're doing, and Brother Hashua and everyone else, and actually beginning to come and see for themselves. So what has been your experience with those brothers and sisters?
Okay, so what's been going on, as you notice, since the first documentary came out, there's been some interesting things that's been happening in the land. I start off with the rivers starting to return back. The blood moon happened. When that happened, when the documentary hit, that river came back from the desert Zen. It went through, came running from the south to the north, which is unusual because only the Nile is supposed to run that way. And it went from through the mountains, through the desert, through what we call Al Jerusalem, or they call it the Negev, and it went through the valley of Achor and emptied into the Salt Sea, which the Christians call the Dead Sea. Okay. So it emptied into there. That was one of the first things. One of the next things that happened, you had the blood moon. Okay. And we had the first group of people that showed up for the Pesach. Now, what we did during the Pesach, there is a video out that we were the first in 2,000 years to kill the lamb before the house. It wasn't a sacrifice. Our people don't understand the cultures, and that's what we teach, sis. We teach the culture of the scriptures. Most people look at them from or read them from a biblical stance. We live them. We teach to keep the culture and how to do the ordinance. So, a sacrifice, and we get that straight between the sacrifice. A sacrifice is when you take an animal, it could be a goat or a lamb, and you burn the whole thing. You burn it. That's what the priests would do. What we did, we killed the lamb before the house. And that goes all the way back from our forefathers when we were in Egypt. So, it taught me something. What it taught me is that I used to think just like everybody else is about eating the lamb. Is that what you thought too, right? The Passover is about eating a lamb, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of what's out there, that it has to do with making sure that you partake in the lamb. Correct? Yes.
Well, really, the reason and you use the key word says partake. The objective of the Passover is about the blood. It goes back to the time when we were in Egypt, when the Most High Spirit came through the Spirit, the Most High sent His Spirit through Egypt, and if you didn't kill a lamb and you didn't put that blood, fellas, if you didn't put that blood on your doorpost, what would happen? It was the killing of the firstborn, all the animals, the firstborn of your sons. So our people did that all the way up until the Hamashiach and even after Hamashiach. And that's what the Pesach is about. It's about killing the lamb before the house. It has nothing to do, well, I'll put it like this. It's about killing the lamb, but it's about the blood. That's what it was really about. It's about the blood. And the Most High said, well, since you killed the lamb, you might as well eat it. And so he would say, and the law was to eat the lamb, but to despart of it or burn it before the daylight. So that's what the Pesach is about. So when that happened, you know what I mean, a lot of things took place. A lot of things in the land. I'll give you an example. We just came out of the Feast of Tabernacle. The people saw one blood moon. You know, well, it's not about the blood moon, but they saw one blood moon on 27. In Israel, we saw 6 of them in a row. Did you hear what I said, sis? 6 of them. We saw 6 in 1 week. I'll put it like that. We had the 27th, 28th, and 29th, and then skipped a day, then the other 3 days in 1 week. And we were astonished. As the other things that took place in the land is that the Gentiles, the Jewish people, were accepting of us, so accepting of us, telling us, welcome back home. When they seen us with the wreaths on our head, and that's another thing. We teach, again, the culture of the Hebrew Israelites. From a stance, it's a difference. Again, there's a difference when you're reading and then when you're actually doing it. It's total difference. You understand the mind frame of our people because you're thinking what they're thinking their thoughts was because you're doing it. You understand what I'm saying?
Definitely. So, there is a difference between reading and doing, definitely.
When we did the Pesach, the tabernacle there, it was, we wore these wreaths on the hand. We got them from our forefather, Abraham. Hey, I said hush. Sorry about that, people. I have kids. We got it from our forefather Abraham. He was the first to keep the Feast of Tabernacle, and they would put wreaths on him. So we did that. What about the booths? People say, well, what about the booths? You guys, did y'all make the booths? Did y'all make the tents of booth? Well, what we did was we took the same wood that was used and the same palm trees that was used by our forefathers, and we applied them to the tents that we already had. You understand what I'm saying? So the objective of this is for the Most High to say, hey, well done job. Okay? That's the whole objective of this, what we're doing. Another thing is this. It's just like, you know, people there talk about what we're doing. Oh, you guys are doing this, you're doing that. You're not supposed to go back to the land, but they cannot prove it. The scriptures that they show us or try to put out has nothing to do with it, and they totally translating them wrong.
So let's talk a little bit about that because as you said, I'm one that tries to keep up with what's going on, and I do see a lot of controversy, a lot of back and forth between the thought process of those who say you're not supposed to go back versus those who say you are supposed to go back, and it's all based on, you know, doctrine and levels of understanding. And just go into that a little bit more, like you were saying, what your experience has been going back, and what are some of the things, like in the time of Nehemiah and the time of Ezra, what are some of the practical things that you're trying to do with those who are subscribing that you are supposed to go back? What are some of the practical things that are needed or things that others should know of if this is something that they're interested in?
Okay. The objective, again, is according to the scriptures, 144,000 will be there before the Hamashiach return. These would be men. These are the men that are going to be going out back and forth to Zion before the Hamashiach return and bringing and teaching about to return to Zion. This is how the law is written on our hearts. See, the law was not written on our forefathers' hearts before. That's why they continue to kill the prophets. Does that make any sense? Because they were looking at, hey, we are Hebrews. They was like, I'm keeping the Sabbath. Look at my fringes. You know, hey, I'm doing everything because it became a tradition for them. They grew up in it. So the law wasn't written on their heart. You understand what I'm saying? It was just like a do a learn process that they grew up with. But this generation here, how can the law be written on your heart? So let me explain that. The law is written on your heart because look in the situation we're in. Our people have to get up and travel. This is about faith. This is the faith thing, and that's another thing that our forefathers, the prophets, were trying to teach our forefathers. They really couldn't understand it. But this move right here is about faith. Giving up everything to go see the master. And I tell people all the time, I say, hey, who are you afraid of? Your bill collector or the Most High? You understand? Because if the Most High that's spoken about, in what he says in 2 Chronicles 7:30, he said, this is my habitation forever. This is why I dwell at forever. Doesn't that count for 2015? Of course it does. You understand what I'm saying? So the thing is, if the Most High says, if you come to this place and your prayers will be heard, if you come to this place, I will increase you. If you come to the place and pray to me, I'll do so many of these things for you. And not only that, the main thing, I would turn away the captivity. It's in 2 Chronicles 30 and 2 Chronicles chapter 7 and verse 14. That's the only way it's going to change things. That's what's so practical about this, is to return to Zion to get us out of this captivity for prayer. We're not telling nobody to move there. We're telling people to return for pilgrimage. That's what our people did. And that's one of the things, this is the main message out of anything, sis, is that we're trying to teach our people the culture, the aspect that our people went to Zion. Every time they got in trouble, every time they came out of captivity, the first thing they did was ran to Zion. Well, this generation don't know that. They don't understand that concept, and they don't care to know about it. So we're teaching it, and it's catching on like fire. So the scripture talks about a remnant, and I didn't understand why would it be a remnant, but now I do, because most people are going to push Zion away. They even say, some people say it's Satan's den, but the Most High said, this is my habitation. So which is it? Should I believe the man that says Satan's den or Satan's temple? Or should I believe the scriptures when the Most High said, this is my sanctuary, this is my place of dwelling forever? My eyes will be on this forever. Who should I believe? And of course the scripture says, let every man be a lie, but the word be true. So you know what I'm running with, right?
Can, indeed. It's understood. There is a lot. Right now we're on, for those who are tuning in, we're on the line with Ashira Ben Yisrael. We're talking about, if you haven't seen the documentary and the movements that the real Zion, Jerusalem has been discovered, with Brother Hashua and the works and the excavation works. This is stuff that has been and is being documented. And I think that at best it needs to be. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you loud and clear.
Okay. We need to actually just take a look, because there's so many doctrines. You have those who don't believe in the New Testament. You have those who believe just in Torah only, and whichever it is, this is a piece of the puzzle. You know, it's like we're collecting
Absolutely.
a puzzle. So it definitely is a piece of the puzzle to know that, listen, this has been found. To disregard it altogether, for me, wouldn't be the wisest thing to do. At least give ear to see what's going on. You know, because some people are on that, we can't even prove that the Bible is real. So it goes from one extreme to the other. And this conversation, we interviewed him last year, and we wanted to catch up back with Brother Ashira and see what's going on. So for those who try to go for the pilgrimage, is it easy for them? Because, they have, rumors, or you have stories that go around that it's not easy to visit the land, or whatever the case may be. Is the process easy? Is it streamlined?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, it's easy. The people, you got certain groups out there, the GOCC guy, I'm going to mention his name, the GOCC guy, Ricard, the Ricard guy, that dude, he's talking about, they use scare tactics to scare our people. That's number one. You see what I'm saying? And you got to always be aware of any man that's trying to hide himself. You see what I'm saying? Who's going to hiding and things like that, and don't want to tell people to go one place and he's another. It's like me telling you to come to a party, this is gonna be a banging party. This party will be hot, And then when I get there, say, where you at? You're like, well, I went to this other party. You know what I mean? Something's wrong with that. You got to look out for people like that. So these people and these others, not just him, they use scare tactics. You see, and the Most High don't give us the spirit of fear. Only thing you're supposed to fear is the Most High. Okay? Now, I can show you all day that it's going to be man in the scripture, 144,000. Let me give you a scripture. When you go to, and show you that scripture talks about, I'll give you one scripture that talks, I'll give you a couple that talks about the 144,000 that's going to be there before the Hamashiach. Is that fine? Is that okay with you, sis?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, like I said, there's different type of people listening, but we're going to come from what Brother Ashira is understanding at this point, so we'll take a listen.
All right. Let's go to Obadiah 1:21. It says, and saviors, that's plural, shall come up upon Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Most High. See, the scripture says saviors. So who is those saviors? Those saviors are the 144,000. Let me go into a couple more and prove that. Let's go to Psalms 43:3. Oh, send out thy light and thy truth. Let them lead me. Let them, which is plural, bring me back unto the holy hill, which is Zion, into thy tabernacles. So the tabernacle has been there. Now, let me give you a little brief history before I go even deep. Most people say, oh, the temple. They don't even understand that the temple that they're taught, or that the one the Hamashiach said was going to be not like one stone left, was built by Herod. It wasn't in Zion. It was on a whole other end in Jerusalem. They don't know that. The process when they stopped building the temple and they laid the foundation, it was during the Maccabee period. At that point, they stopped it. And guess why they stopped it? They said it's going to be rebuilt during the end days, which is our time. So right now, the tabernacle was what our people were using. They always had. And that's what it's going to be used in. And that's what talks about in prophecy. But those were and this is what the 144,000 is going to emerge to before the temple is built. But let me continue. Let's go to Jeremiah 3:14. It says, turn, O backsliding children, said the Most High, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. Verse 15, and I will give you pastors, which is plural, not singular, according to my heart. These pastors are the 144,000. These pastors are the same ones we just read in Psalm 43, that the man was asking them to, thanking the Most High for bringing them to Zion. But it says, I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. Let's get a couple more. Watch this. Jeremiah 16:16. Behold, I will send for many fishers, that's plural, said the Most High, and they shall fish them. Who is them? Those are the other Israelites. They're going to be out there teaching, and this is what we're doing. That's why I tell people this is only one crown. I mean, this is more than one crown that's going to be given out. I'm sorry, Jeremiah 16 again. It's 16:16. It says, behold, I will send for many fishers, said the Most High, and they shall fish them. And afterwards I will send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of every hole of the rocks. So who is going to be hunting them? The Most High is going to send the nations and also the fallen Malachim. Who's going to be fishing them? Those are the 144,000. Let's prove that more. Matthew 4:18, and the Hamashiach, walking by the Sea of Galilee, saw two brothers, Simon and Peter, and Andrew and his brothers, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishers. And he said unto them, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. So this is what's going on right now. But let me give you a couple more. Is that okay with you, sis?
Yeah, as long as the people, they're listening and he's substantiating what you've learned to understand of what's going on in this time. So we're taking a listen.
Okay, hold it. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Revelation 14:1. It says, and look, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his Father's name written in their foreheads. So these men were sealed with the mark of the Most High. Why? Because the Scripture is going to show you that the Most High is sending his Mashiach, sending his son, the Hamashiach. And yes, we believe in the Hamashiach. That's the whole key. Not to go and get anybody, but to what? To defend Jerusalem. Now, I'm going to show you the tricks they use too as well. Just give me a couple minutes. Revelation 7:14. It says, and I heard the number of them, which are these Israelites, 144,000, which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all tribes of the children of Israel. One more. Isaiah 66:19. So even after, when the Hamashiach said he's going to use the 144,000, these men, to go back and bring other people before and after his return. Watch, let me prove it. And I will set a sign among them. When you go into Hebrew, you know that sign, this means a mark. Okay? And I will send those that escape. Wait a minute, those that escape, these are the men who sought Zion before the decree. It says, escaped of them unto the nations, to Tarshish, Pul, Lud, to draw the bow, to Tabor, Javan, to the isles of far off, that have not heard my fame, neither have seen my glory. They shall declare my glory among the Gentiles. And they, means they are considered 144,000, that's plural, shall bring all your brethren, those brethren are Israelites, who did not come to Zion before the decree was made. These are the ones who went to the tribulation. They're listening to brothers who are still waiting on the rapture. For an offering unto the Most High out of the nations upon horses and chariots and litters. So let's keep going. It's a mule and a swift beast to my holy mountain, which is Zion, Jerusalem, said the Most High, as the children of Israel bring an offering in clean vessels into the house of the Most High. Verse 21, it says, and I will also take of them for priests and for Levites, said the Most High. And these Levites are going to be from the houses of Dot. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that. Now, last thing, I'm going to show you one of the tricks of the trade, because they use this. They say when the Most High says, I did this, and I did this. They use that and say, see, the Most High, the Hamashiach is going to bring us in. You're not supposed to go in there before, but it's because they don't understand, and they don't understand the book. So we're hoping that our brothers and sisters will just read and understand. Let's give you something that happened in the past. Okay, it's in the history. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. And this is a pattern in the dialogue throughout the whole Scripture. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Ezekiel 20:6. It says, in that day, I, being the Most High, lifted up my hand unto them to bring them, which are the Israelites, forth out of the land of Egypt into the land that I, Most High, had espied for them, flowing with milk and honey, with his glories of all land. Now, let's analyze this verse real quick. Now we look at it. The Most High says, "I lifted up my hand to bring them," but we know that to bring. It said, it said in that day that I lifted up my hand to bring them forth out of the land of Egypt. Well, we know it was Moses who lifted up his hand, split the Red Sea, and brought them over. But the Most High gets credit for that. He uses man. But it says, into the land I spied for them. Well, who spied the land out for them? It was the two spies who did that. But the Most High gets credit. He uses man. And then it says, flowing with milk and honey, which is all the glory. So who brought them into the land? It was Joshua who brought them into the land. But the Most High gets all credence and credit for that. You see what I'm saying? The Most High does. But let me show you what they're doing. I'm going to use the same terminology throughout the whole Scripture. And I'm sure you know this, sister. Ezekiel 34:13. And I will bring them out. This is the future prophecy now. The other one was the past, was something that happened in the past prophecy. But this is the future prophecy. And it's saying the same thing. But listen. And I will bring them out from the people and gather them from the country and will bring them to their own land and will feed them upon mountains of Israel by the rivers and in all the inhabited places of the country. So now, I just run you some precepts, and it shows that they were men who's going to be doing this. But look, it says that I will bring them out from the people. Well, we know that we just read that he was sending fishers. We see it in Psalms. He was bringing man to bring them. They were saying, let them bring us to the holy mountain. Then it says, and gather from the countries. We've seen that these were man doing this. And it says, it says, and we'll bring them to their own land. Again, these are man. These are the 144,000. So we can go through this. You can go through the whole Torah, Tanakh, the New and Old Testament, and you're going to always speak I, because the Most High get credit. We give him all credence for this. Him gets credit, and then all through his son, the Hamashiach, Yeshua, Yeshaya, Yahshua, whatever you want to call him, Jesus, whatever people got a name for him. The firstborn spirit, that's what we're talking about. So that's what I wanted to show people, that there is going to be a people there before the Hamashiach return.
I'm glad you came to that point because, the call is going, information is going forth that's substantiating the things that we see in the Torah, and we come to that spot that you just ended off that last thought on, which is a great division, which comes to now the understanding or the acceptance of the Mashiach or not. Now, how does that affect this gathering or this conversation that's centered around Zion, and those who not subscribe to that doctrine? How are they relatable in the whole scheme of things? I don't want to say I don't believe in Mashiach. What, I can't come to Zion because you understand what I'm saying?
That's fine. Well, this is let me, and I'm gonna get a scripture for you, sister. Okay. Now, the brothers or sisters who don't believe in a Mashiach, we still call all our people there because we know for a fact that the Most High is going to do something. We know for a fact. We're not calling people to Zion, just only to pray. We're calling people to Zion to get a response from the power, from the Most High power. You see what I'm saying? That's why we're calling people to Zion, because it's prophecy that you will get a response in our time from the Most High when 144,000. Let me give you a scripture real quick to show you that, because most people, again, they think that we're supposed to go back to the land and we're going to be redeemed already, and we're not going to be under the curses when we get back, right? That's what you heard of too, right? You heard of that doctrine, that we're not going to be under curses?
I've heard of different ones. I've heard being taken into the wilderness, passed under the rod. I've heard different ones.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, especially with this one that you're about to touch on, but I'm listening.
Okay, beautiful. Well, I'm going to give you that one too about the wilderness, because I'll show you what the wilderness is. And again, it's because our people are looking from an outstance. And I'll give you a real good example. If you drew me a map of your house, right now, you sent it to me by letter, and I can look and say, oh, okay, I go in, there's a dining room to the left, there's the upstairs, and you come straight to the door, there's a living room, you go to the back of the room. I see your house. I can see your plans. But it's much different if I do what? Come and walk through your home personally, right? More effective.
Okay.
I'm going to see things more clear. Exactly. So this is what this is. Our people are reading from a book, but they can't relate. They can't connect the dots. They can't relate with it. They're just reading. You understand what I'm saying? It's just reading. It's just reading. Real life is always better than the book. You see what I'm saying? But it's the best what we have, and it's only going to be through faith that's going to get us there, okay? Let me show you what I'm talking about. Now I'm going to go to Joel 2:15. I'm going to show you a prophecy, and it's going to show you that a people are going to be there in Jerusalem that's going to Zion before the Hamashiach, or if you want to say before the Most High return, however you want to call it. They're going to be there, and they're still going to be under the curses. They're still going to be under the curses. Let me read that for you. Watch this. Blow the trumpet in Zion, sanctify a fast, call a solemn assembly. Gather the people, sanctify the congregation, assemble the elders, gather the children and those that suck the breast. Let the bridegroom go forth out of his chamber, and the bride out of her closet. So who is that? This is the marriage. This is the marriage between the Most High and his people. But watch this. It says, let the priest. Now hold on. This gathering is done. Let's find out if this gathering is done before the return of the Hamashiach or the Most High, however you want to call it, for those who just don't believe in the new covenant. Let's find out if it's before or after. It says, verse 17, let the priest Now we're seeing there's a priesthood, but I'm going to prove there's only a portion of our people that's there at this particular time. It said, let the priests, the ministers of the master, weep between the porch and the altar. And that's there. This is not talking about the temple. This is talking about the tabernacle, which is Zion. The temple stood on Mount Moriah, and then you had the other temple that was destroyed in 70 AD. This is one of the secrets we give out. That was on Mount Herod. It was Herod's temple that was destroyed. Okay, but it says, let the priest, the minister of Yahuwah, weep between the porch and the altar, and let them say, spare thy people, O Yahuwah, and give not thy heritage to a reproach, that the heathen should rule over them. So wait, hold on. These people, they're there. This is the prophecy. They're saying, spare your people. Spare your heritage. Don't give it to a reproach. I mean, don't let people talk about us and demean us still. Then it says that the heathen should rule over them. So the nations, the Gentiles are still ruling over us. Let's keep going. Wherefore should they say among the people of the Gentiles, where is the Elohim? Where is the Elohim? So the people are saying, where is the Elohim at? You people are doing all these killings and coming to your feasts and everything else. We don't see no difference because you're still getting locked up in America. You're still you still have homosexuality amongst your people. You're still in your captivities in the four corners of the earth. But this is only for a portion of a people. But let's keep looking at it. It says, then will the Most High, Yahuwah Elohim, be jealous for his land and pity his people. So in order for the Most High to be jealous for his land, pity his people, there has to be a people there doing this act before the Most High return, or if you want to say the Hamashiach return. Makes sense, doesn't it?
I mean, I've always had a thought process that, we're going to be there, but I'm saying there's a lot of stuff out there. I thank you so much for bringing forth that precept, because definitely there's some people who have a fantasy-type thought process on the whole matter of how it's going to go down, and take out the practical application of the things that we need to do in order to be in. I had a question for those who may want to tour, and visit. Is there a way in which if it's off season, if it's not a feast, that they can go and, is there a process that's already set up, or what exactly should they do? Because this is being broadcast all over. So how should they go about that?
Yes, they can contact us as returntozion@yahoo.com, or they can just contact Ashira Amariel on Facebook, myself or him on Facebook. Inboxes, that you want to go out to the land, that you want to get your tickets, and all we do is make it available, give you some places you can stay, and then everything else is easy. It's not a hard process. It's very easy. It's just like traveling. But most of our people never travel. I would say 99.9% of Negroes never travel outside of America. You understand what I'm saying? They never traveled outside of America. And they're scared. And so we try to not exactly hold their hand, but, be a little bit more attentive to those who first time travel.
Correct. I think that's true. Because we lack experience oftentimes with traveling, we are afraid, or we go off of the things that we've heard in times past. I think it's interesting also to note that you had a stay in Egypt for those who may be listening, who are listening to different thought processes to go to these different places. Can you touch a little bit on that for those who may not be familiar with your stay in Egypt?
Yeah. I went out to Egypt. I stayed in Egypt, did some studying out there. I've been to a few other places, Egypt, Uganda, the Middle East, Arabia, Turkey, right now at this particular time they're actually not South Africa. We have some. It's a. I can't even think of the name of the country right now. Not Nairobi, but it's. I've been requested to come to Africa, and because there are people that's there, and the information is getting out. You know what I mean? This first documentary is reaching the four corners of the earth. I mean, we have got responses from people as far as the Philippines. I'll be requested to come to Australia. What else? Also Uganda again. You know what I mean? So the information is going out. Hashua is dealing with the Limba tribe. They're coming up. So I mean, like it's deep. You know, even India. Oh yeah, and the Sidi people in Pakistan, they reached out to us. So we're sending people out there to them to help them out and try to get at least a couple representatives to come to Zion for the next feast. So the information is getting out, you know what I mean? And we know, it's scripture that our people, you know, we're the same stiff-necked people we've been, you know what I mean, 2,000 years ago. Most of us are the same stiff-necked people. And the thing is, we're trying to show our people the cultural aspect. Not reading from a book. We're trying to teach them a cultural aspect. Come out and let us show you the cultural aspect. And at the same time, let us take you to the place that your forefather dwelt in, the real places that they dwelt in. Kind of hot.
Absolutely.
The real place. You know what I mean? So we can connect you to the book. You understand what I'm saying? We want you to come into our living room. You know what I mean? Instead of draw you a map of it, so that you can just see everything for yourself and understand it at its totality.
Yeah, definitely. That is, you know, a lot of arguments will be ceased once certain things are actualized. You know what I'm saying? It's
yes,
okay to
absolutely.
argue from a point of understanding, like you said, when certain things are actualized, when you can actually take what you say you believe in and substantiate that and understand that that the Creator is real. You understand? And these things that are left on, there is no need for debate. There may be certain things that are debatable, but as it relates to hard archaeological facts that are being revealed at this time, go and see. You know, go and see, and then you'll come back with another report. Speaking of traveling, you were in Jamaica, so let's talk a little bit about that with Mutabaruka. So,
right,
that,
Mutabaruka.
You know, how was that one? And
well, you
what
know
happened?
what? Okay, sure. Mutabaruka, I known about Mutabaruka since the 80s, since I was in high school and stuff, and that was actually a nickname I gave my brother, or my brother gave to himself, because of the pro-Pan-African movement at that particular time. So when I learned that I was actually going to meet with him, I was excited. I was really excited. I was looking forward to meeting the brother. You know what I mean? You know, in the Pan-African movement has really took our people. It really helped bring our people to a conscious state. You know, but the Hebrew Israelite movement is taking it to the next. Takes to the next level. So when I got to Jamaica, I knew about the event that was taking place, and I tell you what that event was, which was really deep. But it was with a bunch of Rastas up in the mountains, and a brother who met me at the airport took me straight to them. I think that same day, yeah. And when we got there. It was all these people, about 300 people out there, 200 or 300 people out there. And this brother had this humongous crowd around him. I mean, like a crazy cameras out and everything. So it was deep because it was really deep. The brother walked me through the crowd. And then when he got up to Mutabaruka, he said, "This is Ashira, the one I've been telling you about." And so we shook hands. Now we're standing toe-to-toe, eye to eye, like a boxing match. And I told him, I said, "Hey, listen, that I'm here to tell you that our home has been found," because Rastas are always talking about Zion, and they're always talking about going back home to Zion. Only difference was I was there also to show them that they was in sin too, because they're looking to a man called Haile Selassie they're looking to Haile Selassie as a son of David. That's a whole other story, whether he is or whether he is not. But my reason was there was to tell them about Zion's was revealed. And so since they were always talking about it, the music and the Rastas, You know what I mean? I was trying to connect them and let them know that this place is found for them, and their home has been found. I started talking about how the Most High put us in this captivity because of our sins that we did and that we were cursed. He couldn't believe it. He said, so you trying to tell me that God curses the put us on ships? I said, yes. But before that, let me tell you what. When I said that, he turned. He sucked his teeth. You know, he stoops and he walked away. I continued talking, but before that was very interesting. He said, "Who sent you?" I said, "The God of Israel sent me." Exactly. I looked him right in his face and told him that. And you should have seen his eyes is got wow. You know what I mean? Because this is the job. See, sis, this is how I know this is real, because the Most High God, I asked for something, and the Most High put me on this journey that I have no control over. You understand what I'm saying? I am not in control right now. You see what I'm saying? I am so not in control. I'm telling you, I'm so not in control. The Most High is doing this, and He's moving me across the earth. But so let me continue what happened. So when he stoops, he walked away. So I just continue to talk and say, you know, what we're doing, our sins and everything. So all these people, they still around me, cameras out and everything. You know what I mean? And this one brother said, he's a prophet. I said, no, brother, I ain't no prophet. I'm a man just like you. And matter of fact, there's supposed 144,000. Some of them are coming from this place right here called Jamaica. Some of you will be the 144,000. This is about giving out crowns. This is not about one crown, one man, one person leading. It's not about me or Hashua. We're not no leaders. We're not leading anybody. We're just here to show you your way back home, point the way back home for the 144,000. That's it. And so they interviewed me there. So now the deep part gets even deeper. We leave there from the mountains and we go to Kingston. And it's about a 2-hour drive or whatever from where we were from. And this is where the main event was at. And all the speakers, because they were speaking about reparations and appropriation. So at this whole time, everyone is looking at me. They're staring at me. I'm there, and I'm in my, of course, I'm always in my black Galabea. That's because I'm always in mourning because our people just, But, you know, I'm in there in my black mitri, my cane, and my black garment. And so everyone's just looking and staring at me the whole time because they saw someone was up there in the mountains and saw what happened between Mata Baruch and I. And that was just a short version of what happened. It's actually a little bit more. But so I said, when am I speaking? And she said, oh, well, you have to speak in the end. I said, okay, fine. Then she says, you're only getting 2 minutes. I'm like, yeah, okay, not a problem. But right. But I'm like, I'm taking more than 2 minutes. So the end came. And they said, oh, we don't have time. I'm like, nah, I want my 2 minutes. So she said, okay. And it was Mata Baruch who did it. He didn't want me up there. So, but when I got to the place in Kingston, I had met some young Hebrew college students, and I was talking with them. Some of them were up there, and they hugged me like, oh, man, we like what you did. We like what you said and everything. And, you know, it's not many of us here, but we're waking up. So I used one of those young brothers to say, I need you to read something for me when I went on stage. It was my time to come. And I went right. You know I went them curses, right? And I told the people, it's like a stadium, like outside stadium or whatever. And we have all these people out there. And I said on the mic, now at the same time you have these brothers, they're smoking on the herbs and they're beating the drums while I'm talking, because that was the whole vibe the whole time when everybody was coming up to speak. They just beating their drums. You know, the rosters, there was plenty of herb out there. And so I said, I want to tell you, I kind of got in the vibe myself. I said, I want you to close your eyes. I want to tell you about a 5,000-year-old prophecy by a people, a nation of people called the Hebrew Israelites. Deuteronomy 28:47 goes into, you know, why that we were people with chains on their neck and didn't have nothing, one of all things. Then I said, give me 68. And you know what 68 is? It's about the ships. And he's right there. So I looked at him, and it said Deuteronomy 28:68. And the brother said, you should be put on ships and cursed and blah blah blah. And he looking, I'm looking at him. And I said, what ships? And took slaves and bondmen. I said, this is what the God of Israel did to a people. I said, now let's find out why he did it. So I said, so I told him, go give me Deuteronomy 28 and 45 and 46. So we went back. And it says, these curses will be upon those people for a sign and for a wonder, for the sea forever, because they didn't keep the commandments and blah, 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 the Most High God. You know what I mean? And it was quiet as a rock. It was quiet than a rat pissing on cotton. It was that quiet. You couldn't, that's quiet. You got a rat pissing on cotton, right? It was quiet. And so it gets deeper. And so when I was done, I said, if you want reparations, before I finished, I said, you want reparations, you got to seek the God that put you in the condition that you are in, Israelites. And that was it. And out of all those people, I heard about maybe 10 people clapping. You feel me? 10 people was clapping. So as I was walking off the stage, now remember this whole time the drums playing and they're playing John Matabaruki jumped back because he was the MC. And of course he didn't introduce me. He gave the mic to his sister to introduce me because he didn't want to introduce me. There was this vibe between them. Oh, I got that brother heated. He was tight. He was real tight. You know what I mean? Because he didn't like the attention I was getting at the place in the mountains with the rosters. And he didn't like the attention that I got. So he was trying to put the banana. He was trying to give me the banana in the tailpipe. I wasn't falling for it.
Trying to give you the slip.
He was trying to, that boy was trying to give me the Jedi mind trick, and it wasn't happening. So as I was walking off the stage, this elderly woman came up to about 73. She's about 70. She was in her 70s. She was about my grandmother age, if not older. Oh, you're from Kenya. And I ignored her because the music playing, and I'm coming out the side of the stage, and he's back emceeing. So I wasn't sure she was talking to me, but she came up to me, and I wasn't sure she was talking to the young brother that was next to me. So I ignored it. Then I kind of reached down to say it again. She said, my uncle, when I was young, on his deathbed, told me that what Jamaica was going to change. The truth was going to come from Kenya. She said, "You're from Kenya." I said, "No, ma'am, I'm not from Kenya, but my name is Kenyan." I thought that was weird. You know what I mean? She said, "No." He said that the truth was going to come from Kenya and it was going to change Jamaica. I said, "Well, no, ma'am, I'm not from Kenya. My name is Kenyan, but I'm not from Kenya." You know what I mean? And so I left it alone. I said, "Anything else?" She said, "No." I said, "No." I told her, I started telling her about the scriptures. She said, "No, I know about the scriptures. I know who we are." I said, "Oh, okay." And so that was it. So I didn't really think anything of it. On our way back to where I was staying at, the guy house I was staying, his mom, which is an older woman, too elderly woman, she asked me, she said, "What did that woman run up to you and say to you?" And I told her because all about it. I said, "Oh, well, she was saying that she asked me, was I from Kenya? That her uncle told her when she was young that the truth was going to come from Kenya, from Kenya, it was going to change Jamaica." And I told her I'm not from Kenya. She said, "You didn't get that?" And I was like, "No, ma'am, I didn't." She said, "That was for you. It wasn't for her." And I'm like, wow, it was deep. So I didn't think, I just thought it was deep. I'm not going to say I didn't think about it, but I thought it was, I was like, wow, that is kind of deep, because how was she, it's not coincidental. My name is Kenyan, but it sounds like a movie, right? I'm not shitting you. This is really true. You know what I mean? I'm keeping it 100 with you. And so,
it's confirmation. I just wanted to say I often do. I'm a co-host, right, of another show that deals with reggae music, and just to, as you're talking, I'm like, the Most High is great, because in one episode, my co-host was reading a letter from Muta Baruka, and I got kind of hot on the letter. You understand? And he says, "Well, if you want to talk to him," I said, "We need to talk to this guy." He said, "Well, you want to talk to him? Look him up." And it's funny that you're telling me that you, another Hebrew, was able to speak to him the very things that I wanted to say. You understand what I'm saying? And he got the message. You know,
he got the message.
He got the message. In the letter, he was telling Rastas to go back to African spiritualism, and go back to, voodoo and all of this stuff like this, you know, and that's the very thing that got us in trouble, you know. So it's a beautiful.
Exactly.
Everything come full circle. And I didn't get to speak to Musa. Another brother who knows the truth was able to go there and speak that truth to him. So I just like, right now I'm like, yeah. Continue.
That's deep. So since I've been back from Jamaica, it's been incredible. It really, I understand what the lady's talking about, because now I have a radio show, I have a television show there I'm going to do, and with the students in the university, I'm doing a lecture there about Zion, about who we are and everything else. So it's just giving credence that the Most High, again, this is the Most High. That's how I know this is right. No matter what these brothers are thinking, they don't understand. They don't see what we're seeing, and some do. You know what I mean? It's going to be many more who don't, but some do.
You know, when I first saw it, because I went to Israel in 2009, didn't visit Zion at that time, visit the brothers and sisters in Emunah, you know, and I promised myself, Most High, you will, I return. But when I saw it, the documentary, I'm like, yes, this is something right here. You know, sometimes our people don't see things. If they're not visionaries, they're not going to believe it till a lot of other people believe it. But you have those among us who know it to say, yes, this is it. And this is why I initially wrote the piece on Hashua. And I initially, you know, reached out to you and you reached out to me, and I did it then because I was able to see, no, this is not a game, you know. And so we just have to continue to do the work, and the Most High will bring who He will bring, and we'll clarify what needs to be clarified in the end. But in the interim, we need to do, as saith the Most High, you know. And so I want to thank you so much. With the cock, it's like you had a cock crowing remote control or something, because every time you was going to say something deep, the cock was like, and I'm like, okay, is it somebody messing with the chicken or something? But,
no, they just out here. That's deep. I didn't pay attention to that one either. See, that's deep. Yeah.
If you're going to listen back, you're going to hear the cock crowing at certain times. Every time you would say something that needed to be emphasized, he would crow. But definitely, I thank you so much. Is there anything? So you said you wanted, brother, he's on the move now. Ashira, just, you know, continue to support. Is there any other kind of support that is needed that the people may need to know about? Go ahead.
Yes. Okay, the support that I need, you know, listen, I need your donations of prayers, not no money. We don't go around asking nobody for money. Our people poor. You know, you understand what I'm saying? We don't do that. So I need your donation of prayers to continue, for the Most High to continue to guide me, strengthen me, keep me focused in this movement, and to bring the other brothers, to wake them up so they can come to Zion. They're coming. Brothers, the last group we had, brothers that came to Zion, is getting bigger and bigger. And I mean, I like to big up, too, the brothers from the House of David and the brothers from Sword to Zion, and my brothers, Yamaya in Oklahoma. You know, I mean, these brothers are seeking the Most High. They're building their camps up, seeking the Most High. And also, a brother down where I'm at now in Trinidad named Yaakov and his congregation, there's also seekers of Zion. These people are putting the things together, and they're doing it. I mean, you know what I mean? I listen, sis, I am a bear witness. I always say I don't have nothing. I don't have anything. But the Most High is moving me. You know what I mean? You know, this is how I know this is real. You know what I mean? And we not like these pimps. You got a lot of Hebrew pimps out there. They're asking people for money to teach a fake Hebrew. They ain't even really Hebrew. You know what I mean? They're asking people. They're getting rich off our people. You know, these fake shepherds, you know what I'm saying? Literally, these fake shepherds, the Most High is going to destroy them. That's why I don't deal with camps. Our people are coming out of camps. You know what I mean? Everybody's trying to be that pastor. You understand what I'm saying? They're trying to, and when you look at the scripture, sis, look, the scripture talks to 8 or 9 times talks about pastors. You understand? Only one of them talks about the Most High pastors, which I read in Jeremiah. The other ones talk about he going to destroy these pastors. So no matter if you're calling yourself an elder, you're 40-something years old, or 30-something years old, or you're 20s calling yourself your elder, it's a lie. You're not an elder. An elder is somebody like my grandfather, right? 70-something, 60-something, people who've been through war. Not no guy who younger than you or a guy your same age or a guy a year or two. He's not your elder. You understand? They can't teach you wisdom. This is why people going in error, because they're listening to these fake pastors. They're listening to this wickedness. We are Israelites. That's what we, myself and Hashua and the other brothers who are in this movement, the Return to Zion movement, are about. We are Israelites. We are Israelites. I give a damn about a GOCC or POP or DUK church or whatever. We're Israelites. These people are wicked. They're just trying to hold our people back, get money off from them. You understand what I'm saying? These are the wicked shepherds that the Scripture talks about, and the Most High is going to deal with them. So I tell all my people, read Isaiah 65:9, return to Zion, seek the Most High habitation, that he dwelleth forever, that his habitation, that his ears be attentive to forever. Don't pay attention. Deal with faith. Don't pay attention to these cats because they just trying to feed off you. They're the wicked pastors, they're the wicked shepherds that the Scripture's talking about. And that's all I got to say, sister. Seek Zion, people.
Well, Brother Sheridan turned on by at the end, so I pray for all of Israel. Like you say, we're all Israel, wherever we may be in
Israel.
Different congregations, these different camps, these different synagogues and Knessets. May the Most High, he said, if the wicked turn from their wickedness and do righteously. So as there's life and there's breath and we're able to move and breathe, if we were in error, I pray that we shuv at this time, that we
That's
return.
right. Exactly. I pray that we return. I pray that we come out of these camps, because again, they're playing a role over Hamashiach. They're playing a role of the Most High, and there's only one king. He sits on the throne. You understand?
Oh.
He sits on the throne.
With that, we want to thank Brother Ashira for coming in. Like we said, this conversation was about to do a little catch-up with Brother Ashira, see what he's been going on with. Definitely, as we all learn and grow, I am one that this is a puzzle, and it has been broken apart, and everybody has a piece, and there's a level of humility
That's
that
right.
we have to extend to one another to hear the portion. We may not agree with each other in 100% because the Most High is going to work it out once we lean not on our own understanding, but acknowledge when someone has a piece and learn of that individual.
Exactly.
I thank you so
much.
Elder Brother Hashua, we might have to get him on and do an interview as well. And everybody
you'll love
it. Everybody who is listening, definitely if you're interested, contact them. See for yourself. We can talk a good game, but when you start talking about doing what needs to be done, and in the meantime, learn to love your brother, learn to love yourself, learn to love one another, take care of your children, so that when you do return, you won't do the same thing that caused you to get kicked out in the first place, which is for the Most High amongst the nations. So until next time, my name is Emunah Y'srael. This has been a special report. I thank you, brother, for stopping by, and I pray everybody have a blessed evening.
Thank you so much for tuning in. This show has been brought to you by Solonomics 101. My name is Emunah Y'srael, and I want to give a great thank you and let you know that we have an awesome project on deck. It's called The Angry, quote-unquote, Black Woman Syndrome Revisited. It's a book that takes a look at the historical stereotype of the angry, quote-unquote, black woman as it is in media, as it is in our culture. So you can definitely hop on over to my website. That's www.emunahyisrael.com to learn more about it. And if you want to link me on social media, check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, and all of that good stuff. So see you then, and until then, be the change that you desire to see in the world. 1.